Well, I would say my greatest challenge is now. Because I'm living in the shelter system. I don't have permanent housing. I do have a guaranteed income though, so that helps a lot. When her health was failing, she lived with me. I didn't live with her, she lived with me. And I tried to give her the best of everything. Well, like I say, I saw it coming. So I wasn't surprised when she passed away. And so, I was already prepared for that and was strong for that. It was still sad though. It's always sad, when you lose a parent, And, she was the only parent that I ever had because her and my father divorced when I was, like 4 years old. I'm 65 now. So, it's mentally I was prepared for it.
My first husband and I, we hitchhiked a lot because he had lead poisoning in his legs in his teen years. And he prayed to God to give him back his legs. And if he got back his legs, he'd go wherever God wanted him to go. So the last place God sent him was here in San Francisco. And he passed away here in 2006 from OPCCD. I was sad and devastated, and I tried to reach out to his family to get support and to give them support as well, because I know it was a devastating loss to his sister and brother. And his sister wasn't too happy when because he was on life support, and that was one thing he didn't want to be on. And it was something we discussed, James and I did, before he got put on it, that he didn't want to be on it.
Heroin. I was on the needle for 15 years. Been clean six now. Like the first 2 or 3 years, it was like a constant. Every time something went wrong, I had to walk 20 miles in a day, and I'm tired at the end of the day, and I hit a city, I'm gonna find some snack, but I didn't. That was my biggest challenge in life.
My dog happened to nip this young girl in the arm, and they ended up having to put my dog down. So it's been this huge bit of tension between my family on whether or not the decision was the right thing to do. My little buddy that I was expecting to go home to and be greeted by wasn't there any longer, and I felt like I didn't get enough say or I didn't get enough say into the outcome. Not only has it been a challenge to get over that, but get back in communication in a positive light with my mom and my sister, who were there to make the decision without me.
When my dad passed away, that was quite a hard one. And I'm an only child as well, so it made it a little bit more, I suppose, different in the aspect of I would be by myself pretty much for everything now. And then also having to be a lot more independent in regards to looking after financials, looking after the house itself, the family, all that sort of stuff. The most difficult thought for myself at the time was actually just trying to be more responsible. I think there's less irresponsible, more responsible, because I would be taking the family name. So I think that was the biggest overwhelming fear for me at that time.
Challenges are what you make of them, and it's kind of up to the individual to figure out what they're going to get out of any particular challenge. Whether they're going to consider it a growth opportunity or a setback is very personal, and the people you surround yourself with, I think, can also play an impact on that. The type of support network you have can kind of guide you in one way or the other, but I think every experience that you encounter, positive, negative, challenging, exciting, is going to teach you something, and it's up to you to kind of recognize what you can learn from any particular experience.
You're brought to this world, and everybody has their own purpose, and I feel like everything that leads up to your success is based on like your trial and error. So like whether it's like when you're like faced with like a challenge in your life or like a problem, I feel like if you're able to overcome it, you become like a better person. So I mean like you're growing as a bigger person, so then that's gonna prep you for like the future. It's gonna push you to like step out of your comfort zone and into like, you know, doing something you're very uncomfortable with. And I feel like that's the whole entire point. Otherwise we could be living like a very like boring, stagnant life without challenges.
To be able to make a difference with just a piece of cardboard that says something, you know, I started doing this because of the change in my view on society. You know, I was married with children for 13 years and I lived that life, and then I saw how quickly and easily it could all just be taken away and fall apart from you. And I mean, I saw that society doesn't really build up people for, you know, certain things, you know, like compassion. You know, society has lost a lot of that compassion, and that's part of what I do. Light and love. That's, you know, that's really what has changed me through the last 7 years of my travels. You know, I've seen people's days changed just by the simplest thing. You know.
What I think I kind of swallowed from this was that like family is family, and there's not really like in like tough decisions like this, there's not always just like a black and white answer to it. So even though I'm just like super upset with what happened and the way things were gone about, as I learned like more of the story, like animal control being involved, you start to see like the gray area of that, like was this the more humane thing to do? And like I just kind of feel like as angry as I am with each day that passes, I slowly just like figure this is like my family and I have them for life, and although I don't agree with the decision they made, we're kind of stuck with each other, and the tension that it creates is maybe gonna help us like grow closer one day. I know it's super cheesy, but like the forgive but don't forget type thing, but so I feel like I've come to terms with the fact that, you know, like they're my family forever and I'll always love them, but I guess I still haven't come to terms with the fact that like the right thing was done, or that was like an ethical decision to make, whatever you want to like call it.
You're so sheltered when you have your parents there, and I mean I've traveled and all those sorts of things before my dad passed away, but as soon as they're physically not here anymore, you learn so much more, not just about yourself, but obviously about the world and everything else around it, because you don't have that safety, like that sort of safety net that, you know, you can always go back to your parents.
Well, I'm still open-eyed. I'm still dedicated to doing what God wanted him to do with his life, and I still combine it with my life. And I'm still out here. Well, I'm not. I have a room and everything, but still I'm out here. I help out as many homeless people that I can out here, because this is what the path that I choose with my first husband to do is. If I can change one person and open them up, then I know I have succeeded with my day, which makes me feel good. I feel like blessing someone else. I'm blessing myself too.
You know, challenges are a part of life experience. Situations, circumstance. As you get older, you never know what's going to happen next. Prepare, you know, as best you can. And I worked all my life, so you know what income I do get, you know, is better than disability, and that can be challenging. You know, I've been making use of a wheelchair for about the last 3 or 4 months because I have trouble walking. That's challenging. Being in this neighborhood is challenging. Living in a shelter is challenging because it's like a big dormitory. And you get all kinds of nuts. Some people, have bad attitudes. Some people are crazy, Some people are combative. Some people are very nice. It can be depressing. It can be difficult to keep a smile on your face. Maintain a positive attitude. And it's challenging when you're in the shelter. So what do you find challenging?